Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different today. As the title and thumbnail and all that shows, we are actually going to be looking into the VRAGE3 engine that Keen Software House is making. So today we're going to be looking at the sort of presentation from one of the lead artists in Keen Software House. I'm not even going to attempt a name, but I'm going to pop it up on screen, where they show off what the engine is capable of at the current stage. And yeah, so just a little bit of background. I've been sort of looking into all this sort of stuff for quite a while, and then it came to my knowledge that I never actually have made a video on the subject in the slightest. How? I have no idea, but this is what this video is for. Just to sort of show off, if you guys don't look on Twitter and stuff, of what Keen is currently up to with their new engine. Honestly, I can say for like right now, it is insane, and you guys should be looking forward to it. But we're going to be looking at the Exploring New Worlds and Environments presentation that they've done, which is going to look over height mapping, biome and placement rules, terrain detail mapping, baked overlays, atmosphere, and boulders, overhangs, and caves. They're the main sort of subjects. So to begin with, we're going to be looking at the height maps. And yeah, they go over talking about how they're moving from 2K height maps all the way up to 8K using a software called Houdini. It allows them to be able to make things such as cliffs and caves and crevasses. And they apparently do this using the height maps, and then they use blocks and spheres and sort of chunk out sort of bits of a terrain, and then use some noise and sort of roughen it up. And yeah, it works interesting. They do constantly say that all of this presentation that it's all rendered. None of it is sort of using a lot of the game's engine. So it's a lot of work in progress, but this is what they're sort of hoping that this sort of engine will be able to accommodate to, which looks pretty cool. It's the main sort of goal for them to make it look, make a really nice looking environment sort of thing. So now I'm going to show some actual photos of the 8K height maps using the VRAGE3 engine. And yeah, can I just say they look kind of insane, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the next thing that they went on to talk about was the biomes and placement rules. And this sort of side is talking about how they sort of say which sort of material is supposed to be in which place. So obviously you want sand in a desert, you want sort of grass in a general grassy area, you want sort of snow in that kind of side in a tundra. And yeah, it's just how they sort of do the different biomes, surfaces and stuff. But it also uses sort of miniature height maps apparently, which sort of allow them to make bumpier surfaces and smoother surfaces. And to my knowledge, I believe they're also going to be trying to make each surface, or each like surface of voxels, like have different traits. So you can imagine sand being grainy. If you drive in it, you may get stuck, or if a ship crashes in it, it's going to sort of disperse the sand, rather than if it hit into like a piece of rock, it would just sort of break the ship up more. Rock's more solid, you know, that kind of side, which is kind of cool. And yeah, so they talk more into detail about using sort of mini height maps, like I said, to do more detail. The next thing that they talked about was baked overlays, and that is basically how if you looked at a planet from space, it'll look much nicer. So it's just sort of almost a still image from my knowledge, and then as you get closer and closer into the planet, they have layers of different height maps which transition as you sort of get closer. So you have the main one from space, and then as you sort of get into the first part of the atmosphere, it develops. And basically, the closer and closer you get, the more detailed that they can do. And I believe they do it this way just so it's not so laggy, because obviously you don't want every single planet in the world to be rendering at full quality all the time. That's very stupid. The next sort of bit is the atmosphere. So this is how they can change light levels and colours for different planets, and how they just make sort of environments look way more realistic, sort of have that warm kind of feeling. You can think of it in some ways where like you have a general light of a day, but then when you get to a sunset you get that sort of fiery orange, which will sort of make the whole area glow, reflecting off different surfaces and that kind of side. Obviously, like I say, hopefully I'll be showing some more photos of that kind of thing. Yeah, that side is actually really, really cool as well. And then the last sort of side is boulders, overhangs and cliffs. So this is allowing carved out areas of a landscape, you know, just to make it sort of more unique, a bit different, that kind of side. All this is done using the engine to randomly sort of generate these things. So having the ability to have a cave, which is kind of cool. Even just having sort of like a cliff which has a little bit of a craggier out, like something that pulls out a little bit more than it just being, you know, always pointing inwards. Just to make things look way more realistic and things. And obviously, like I've said before, a lot of these things are work in progress, they're renders and that kind of side, rather than always using the game engine. But from my knowledge, they're sort of trying to give you an understanding of what their engine will be able to do. They may not have it quite yet, but yeah, they're certainly getting to that kind of place. The people at Keen Software House have also been working on fluid dynamics and just in general water, being able to make pools, rivers, that kind of thing, which is actually really cool. So it shows a couple of different videos here, or little simulation bits of just basic pools that they've managed to make. They look pretty cool. You also get to see a time lapse basically of how the lighting engine works for water. You can sort of see, yeah, again that looks really cool for with the moon reflecting into the water and that kind of side, and the sunrise and all that good stuff. And one of my favourite parts is where they use a ship to shoot out a dam, and then you sort of see all the water flowing down from where the dam has got a crack in it. Flows all the way down. You can imagine how many cool sort of battles and stuff you could use with some physics like that. Oh, I'm looking forward to this kind of thing. But yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff that Keen's currently doing, like constantly making newer and newer sort of notes on Twitter. So if this is a kind of thing that you want me to make more videos on, keep you updated with what Keen are doing over at Keen Software House, let me know in the comments. And I'm more than happy to make more of these kind of videos. There's so many more things I haven't showed over. Some of the lighting and stuff that they've been working on, as well as some of like the just general physics engine and stuff. This new engine that they're making is going to be dedicated for a sort of space engineers game, where their current one, I believe, was sort of you know, it worked, but it wasn't ideal. There was a lot of sort of loose end. This engine was made 10 years ago, people. But I think that's where I'm going to end it for today's video. So hopefully you did enjoy this video, and hopefully you were excited as I am for what this engine is capable of. As always, my name has been Quantum Chief, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!